And welcome into the Tournament of Champions, coming to you live from Brigham City, Utah. We're at the John A. Gullo Medal Court for the Senior Men's Pro Double Bronze Medal Match. Dane Stewart and Dave Weinbach here to bring you this match. And Dave, we should have a fantastic bronze medal match coming up.
Dane, we are in for a treat, my man. This is going to be a terrific matchup. I expect to see an extremely competitive match. This is a very, very high-quality field that we have here today in the Senior Men's Pro Doubles here in beautiful Brigham City on John Gullo Court here at the base of the beautiful Wasatch Mountain chain.
It's much more beautiful today than it's been all week. There's been a lot of smoke in Utah, and finally able to get it blown out and better playing conditions, but there is a big wind coming in today. It's been an impact in a lot of the games we've had early on. How do you foresee that impacting this match?
You know what? The air quality's been amazing, a little different today than what I'm used to coming here. But let's talk about this match. You've got Steve Dawson and Kevin Booth, both from the Southern California area, taking on Fleming and Coleman. Fleming is from the Dallas, Texas area. I believe the town he's from is called Frisco. And today has been very interesting, Dane. We've had a lot of teams from Texas make runs, both in the women's doubles, the men's pro doubles, the senior women's pro doubles, and here we go in the senior pro doubles. So it's wonderful to see the tremendous growth of pickleball all over this country. Traditionally, Texas has not been a real hotbed for pickleball, but I'm told that Houston, Dallas, Austin area, even San Antonio to an extent, it's really growing, and it's just wonderful to see all these new players out here. I do want to give a special shout-out to Steve Hast, our certified referee who goes all over the country, along with a lot of other referees. Then these tournaments, Dane, could not run efficiently without them. These are sanctioned tournaments. Every match needs a ref. And I can tell you, because Steve has done a lot of my matches over the years, he's one of the best in the country. And I expect this match to go very smoothly from that regard. This is a bronze medal match, so we will have lines judges. So Steve's job is going to be to call the kitchen lines, and then we have line judges calling the line calls. And I think what you're going to see is a tale of two different styles with these guys. Steve and Kevin are going to be very patient with their dinking game, looking to use the dink to set up that attack shot. Whereas I think Randy and Fleming, Dave Fleming, they look to speed the ball up when they can. They're aggressive players. I tell you what, earlier today, Coleman and Fleming took out the #1 seed in the second round. They took off Scott Moore and Scott Clayson. And since then, they have been rolling, Dane. So I expect to see a very exciting, competitive match. Dawson starting to serving to Coleman downwind.
Well, you mentioned this being a bronze medal game, certainly a lot riding on it. The winner moves on to the gold medal match later today. And the loser of this match coming away with bronze, which is nothing, to be... It's still a good accomplishment in this tournament. I mean, you mentioned how popular this tournament is and the level of play from all over the country.
In this field, to get third place in this senior men's field, it's nothing to be, shabby about. That ball clipped the net.
Feel free to browse our inventory online.
One of the things that I think will be really interesting today is seeing the way that the weather, we've talked about the wind a little bit, affects things a little bit, because we've seen some of the balls hang up a little bit and certainly affect the way that players are attacking the ball.
It's been interesting, Dane, because the wind shifted at about 10:30 this morning. Now the wind, if you're watching your screen, folks, Dawson and Booth are hitting the ball downwind to Coleman and Fleming. Coleman and Fleming are going into the wind. Earlier today, the first couple of hours of competition, it was the opposite. And the players had to make the adjustment. And the wind has picked up throughout the day, and the players at all the different events, have been kind of struggling with that. There's a referee timeout here, Dane, and I'm not 100% sure. Steve, I think, is having an issue with the microphone. So this is a referee's timeout. I think we'll be back here in a minute.
So one of the things is I think Steve Dawson may have gone up to him and had a question about the ball. And I think that he got another ball to look at using and may have affected his microphone system in the process of doing that.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
Some equipment issues to work out.
We're using the Dura Fast 40 ball, and these are balls that do get out of their roundness after a certain amount of play. And the players can, at any time, if they deem a ball not perfect for play, they can appeal to the ref and the other players that they're playing with and say, hey, can we get a new ball?
Yeah.
If the referee agrees, they get a new ball. I think that's what might have just occurred there.
0-1-1.
Good deep return. Good deep return. That's so key, Dane, in pickleball, to get those returns deep, because what that does is it puts a lot of pressure on the serving team. It makes their third shot drop so much more difficult.
8-49 on court number 9.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you'll see in pickleball, and saw it in the women's championships earlier today, the senior pro and pro, the ability to get up to that kitchen line quicker, right, and get able to get into that dink game.
So important.
Versus Rubber Trejo.
There's a nice
court
third
number
ball.
9.
Fleming really likes to come over the ball and generate some topspin on the ball and get the ball down.
That one sent long by Dawson.
Just another beautiful day here in Brigham City, Utah, at the base of the beautiful Wasatch Mountain chain here, Dane.
We have a mixed doubles match.
A terrific third shot drop. You know, we talk in our clinics about why the third shot drop is the most important shot in the game. And you're seeing examples of that right here. Because that's the shot that allows you and your opponent and your partner to move from the baseline into the kitchen line where you need to be to play winning pickleball.
Boy, great recovery by Coleman there. Just another one. I'll tell you what, on that particular rally, I mean, Dawson and Booth spreading that ball all over the court.
You know, this might be a senior event here, Dane. These guys don't look like seniors to me with these wheels.
Right. No, I was impressive, John. I mean, we mentioned Fleming. He was all over the court on that one, trying to fight it off.
Yeah.
That one into the net.
Yeah, he's hitting that third shot into the wind. And folks, when you are playing into the wind on that third shot, not only do you need to give it a little more power, you need to give it a little more height and let the wind knock that ball down into the kitchen. Oh, great drop by Dawson from the baseline. That's the third net error that Booth has made early on in this game. So let's keep an eye on that. Might be a little bit tight coming out here in this bronze medal match in the senior men's pro division here at the Tournament of Champions.
3-0-2, and that one came in on the wrist of Dawson.
Excellent misdirection backhand there by Fleming. Dawson was looking for that ball on his backhand side, and Fleming got it out to his forehand. And Dawson couldn't react quick enough.
3-0-1
next
here.
match will be a mixed doubles. Skill 4.5.
A little strong on the third ball there. See,
on court number 12,
Randy Coleman's last third shot ended up short in the net. In this one, he overcompensated and went a little strong, and then the ball became attackable.
Versus Aaron Roberts and Jesse Roberts. Roberts and Roberts.
Nice shot by Booth, able to fight that off. Able to play one to the back corner. What a hit, huh?
Great lob by Kevin Booth. I think the players initially thought that the wind was going to take that lob deep, but it came down a foot inside the line. What a great touch by Kevin.
That one played wide, so we'll move to the second serve.
The wind not only is downwind from where Booth and Dawson are playing, it's also going from left to right. And that's what took that ball 2 feet to the right.
Boy, nice velocity there from Coleman.
Great job by Randy. You know, Kevin did a nice job keeping that paddle in front of his body and blocking the first one back. But Randy was ready. The lefty was ready for the forehand kill.
3-0-1.
3-0-1 here. Nice job coming up real quickly. Settling in with that no volley zone here, both sides.
This is what I thought you'd see a lot of, is cross-court dinking. Oh, that caught the edge of the line. Terrific lob, and a little bit of miscommunication there with Dawson and Booth. Neither of them went for the ball right away. I think we're getting a timeout here, Dave.
Timeout called. First timeout.
Yeah, good call here with the score being 4-0-1. We'll step aside and come back to the bronze medal match in the men's senior pro. Mentioned in a timeout here, just wrapping this up. And Dave, Score here being 4-0. Timeout taken by Dawson and Booth. They're trailing. What do you do in this scenario early on in a key match? Timeout, what are you using that for?
I think this was an excellent timeout by Booth, is the one that called it there. And you're going to get your partner together. You're going to regroup, possibly change a little strategy. I think they're going to talk about what the wind is, how the wind is affecting the ball, because it is gusting. And I think they're going to talk also about where they want to place the ball, who they want to play more, maybe a slight shift of their initial strategy because it wasn't working early. We'll see. We're at 5-0-1. Fleming serving to Dawson. Nice deep return by Steve. Terrific recovery.
Boy, nice hit right there. Had an opportunity, Coleman did, but just missed it.
You know, that's another example, Dane, on why we always talk about utilizing the middle in pickleball. A phrase I use a lot in my clinics is the middle is good. I think the middle is underutilized in this great game of pickleball.
Especially with the doubles, it would seem like it'd be so easy mentally to just feel like the middle's covered, right? Because you have two people there, but to your point, one miscommunication, it's an easy point, right?
Which we just saw.
Yeah.
Exactly.
0-5-1.
So 0-5-1 on the side out. Sorry, Dave, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, let's see if Steve and Kevin can get a rally going here. Oh, see how he utilized the wind on that lob? Yeah. Beautiful lob. Kevin Booth has terrific hands. He really does. He's got a very sensitive feel. You can tell he doesn't grip his paddle too tight. That's a very key thing in pickleball. Folks, when you have a soft shot in pickleball, like a dink or a third shot drop, we want to have very light grip pressure on the paddle, and that gives you more feel, more control, more sensitivity. And your consistency on your dinks and your third shots is going to be much greater if you can have a lighter grip pressure on the paddle for those soft shots in pickleball. And I think Kevin, and of course Steve, is one of the best dinkers we have in the whole senior game. Steve Dawson is.
I'd say the concept very similar to golf, right? That you need to relax in order to perform.
Exactly.
It becomes so easy to tense up and feel like you have to really overpower things, but then you're taking away the use of your tools.
Yes, exactly right. That's an analogy we use a lot. Comparing to golf and not gripping the club too tight.
Yeah. Nice rally going here. And that one, hey, favorite spot, right down the middle.
Well, Randy was a little slow getting back to the kitchen line, and when you're not all the way up there, what happens is it opens up angles. If you can get all the way to the kitchen line and lean forward, you're better able to cut off angles, both the middle angle and the wide angle.
Nice recovery that time by Fleming as that ball hit off the net, was able to get it back over, but left an easy shot and an easy put away.
And that's back to side out, I think.
Yep, that's correct.
5-1-1.
So I have 5-1-1. That just...
Oh,
no, now we're...
He called the score, and then he said, excuse me, so we're going to replay this point, and the ref will recall the score.
1-5-1.
Good drop, but, Kevin didn't get to the kitchen line quick enough. He's got to get in there a little faster off a successful third shot drop.
First aid to court 6, please.
Boy, nice.
Nice
put away there.
Coleman's getting caught too far off of the kitchen line.
First aid
I think he needs to
court
stay up there
8.
and lean in and be better able to cut off angles. The other thing is, if you're all the way to the kitchen line, you're going to probably capture the ball at a higher elevation than if you're 4 feet behind the line, and that gives you a better angle of attack to your opponent.
Oh, they both wanted that one, huh?
Fleming and Coleman were both salivating on that one.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure who got it.
I don't know either.
I think Randy beat Dave to it.
I'm not sure which paddle had the inside, but they were both there.
2-5-2.
2-5-2 here.
Excellent deep return. See, Kevin's not getting to that kitchen line after that third shot.
Able to keep him off.
I like to see people get all the way to that line. The way I teach it is I tell my students, if you hit a good third shot drop, you and your partner need to get all the way to the kitchen line, not halfway, all the way. If your third shot drop is unsuccessful and it's attackable, then we stay back and try to drop the fifth ball.
Yeah, you can kind of see a little bit of hesitancy there, right? I mean,
That's another example of it. Kevin got about 4 to 5 feet from the kitchen line there. So that makes his next shot harder when he's that far off the kitchen line. Not as good of an angle to attack that next shot. So let's see if he focuses on that in this game and tries to close the kitchen line a little bit quicker.
Couldn't return that. 6-3 our score. It's Fleming with the service.
Oh, nice shot by Kevin there. He does have a terrific pair of hands, as do actually all these players. There's a reason these guys, Dane, are in this bronze medal match here at the Tournament of Champions.
6-3-2.
Oh, that's so good.
Placement, huh?
That's so good. Dawson never saw that ball coming.
No.
He didn't even make an effort for it.
That was a frozen shot, right? It's like, oh, he beat me.
Yeah.
7-3-2.
Fleming has very quick hands, and you know what? It's not just the quick hands. He anticipates where the ball is going to be very, very well.
Tell you what, that's a fantastic hit there by Booth, huh? I mean, that one hits the net.
Yes.
Able to lob it over and make Fleming and Coleman reposition for the side out.
3-7-1.
3-7-1. They're slowly making a move here, a comeback.
Oof.
That's going to sail long.
Point.
Good attack shot by Dawson. He does a really good job of being all the way up at the line and leaning forward. And when you do that, it puts a lot of pressure on your opponents.
I think Dawson probably breathed a little sigh of relief. That one hit the net, and it looked like before it did, he was like, oh, I missed it. Able to get it over, and they get the point. And now another one.
Coleman got a very attackable high forehand and missed it 3.5 feet long. He wants that one back.
Yeah. You can see him just working on that, right? Angle the paddle.
That's the shot you want.
Second serve.
Booth a little frustrated with himself right now with that mishit. Sometimes us human beings, we get too focused on the results and we're anxious to see where the ball is going, and then we forget about the process of hitting the ball on the middle of your paddle.
Yeah.
So folks out there, keep that head down for just a little bit longer to make sure that that ball hits the middle of the paddle. Don't be so anxious to focus on the result.
7-5 our score.
Oh, that's going to sail way deep.
Yep.
Point.
I think Kevin forgot about what the wind was doing when he hit that ball. You know, in pickleball, folks, you always got to know what the wind is doing
5-1.
because it affects this ball so much, Dane.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing worth mentioning, here in Utah, a little higher elevation too, so you've already got some thinner air going on, and then when you match the wind, the conditions become all sorts of confusing.
We just saw a terrific move by Fleming to go around the post, and he forced Booth to bring that ball down the middle high to Randy Coleman's forehand. Then he had an easy kill shot with his forehand.
9-5-1. It's been a good first set for Fleming and Coleman. That one interesting. The linesman did call out.
Booth thought that ball was in. It looked to me like the wind did blow that ball.
I don't ignore his call.
It looked from here like the wind did blow that ball wide.
Yeah.
I mean, we're opposite that side.
Our
But
next match will be the next level skill
One of the tough things, and we've seen this in a couple of other matches, you know, this being a tournament, there are linesmen here. And in pickleball, usually it's the player calling their own side of the court.
for medal matches, we have lines people.
Right.
Yep.
So we've seen a couple of players that have been a little questioning of some of the lines calls here today, and that's not to be, you know, negative on the linesman or anything, but it's been one of the scenarios. But that'll be the first game. 11-5, Fleming and Coleman winning the first game. We'll be back with the second after this. And welcome back to our bronze medal game
Ready over here.
in the men's senior pro.
Second game, 0-2.
It's Fleming and Coleman winning the first game, 11-5 over Dawson and Booth. Fleming and Coleman, if they win this, they will advance to the championship later today, and an early point here for Fleming and Coleman.
That first game, Dane, was really a story of unforced errors. In my opinion, that was the difference. Too many unforced errors on the Booth and Dawson side, and unfortunately for them, We're seeing a very similar situation here at the start of Game 2 here at the Tournament of Champions in beautiful Brigham City, Utah.
Fault there on the serve. So the side out, but 2 nice points to start things off for Fleming and Coleman. So 0-2-1. Our score on the service here. From Dawson, it's...
I think Booth is kind of pressing here. It looks like his confidence is a little bit down. You know, this wind will do it to you, Dane. And playing at this elevation, and also with this wind, it gets players second-guessing themselves. You can see he's not being committed to the shot.
Well, there's a frustration, right? I mean, after every miss hit, there's talking to yourself and frustration and motion energy, and you can see he's getting a little frustrated with the situation. 2-0-1.
But I'll tell you what, Kevin Booth is a gamer, and he will turn it up. I guarantee you, this guy's been very successful in pickleball. He's won a lot of gold medals, including some really big ones last year at some of the majors. And he is going to step it up here. And don't be surprised if he and Dawson find a way to take Game 2 and push this to Game 3 here in the bronze medal match at the senior men's event here at the Tournament of Champions. And that ball, I believe, sailed long.
It did. I was going to say, you know, that the previous rally, he had a great hit. And, you know, if you could really grapple onto that mentally and use that to build some confidence, and then next point sent it wrong.
Kevin, he might be feeling something here, Dane. When a player who's not even returning the serve is holding his paddle up and not wanting play to start, that tells me something is going on there. Either he lost his breath for a minute or got maybe a little dizzy. Oh, great get.
Wow. A side out there, and a nice job that time.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on that situation.
Yeah, well, it was a nice job by Booth fighting through it, right? Because
Yep.
he had a lot of opportunities and made a couple real nice hits.
I'll tell you, all 4 of these guys are as gritty as competitors as you were going to find on the senior men's tour. I'll tell you that.
Move second serve here, 0-3-2.
0-3-2.
Dawson and Booth having to win this one.
That was a borderline illegal serve. In pickleball, folks, the serve must be a low to high motion. That was very close to being not a low to high motion.
So explain that for our viewers, what a low to high motion means.
Yeah, in serving, you must serve underhand and you must start below your waist, like what we just saw from Fleming there. And it cannot be a high to low motion or even a flat motion. It must be a low to high motion, so we'll keep an eye on that.
So that previous serve, I would say, was more of a level
I thought
motion,
it was.
right? Okay.
I thought it was.
Okay.
And that's the referee's job to call that. That's not necessarily the opponent's position to call that.
Yeah.
When you have a certified referee like Steve, his job is to be watching that.
0-3-1. Our score here, Game 2.
Another situation there where Booth did not get all the way to the kitchen line after a very nice third shot.
Boy, an opportunity to put it away. Nice
That
job
time
there
he
by
was
Booth.
up there.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, you're good. You're good.
It looks like he's trying to shelter the sun from him. I think he might be overheated, Dane.
That's what I was wondering, too. He's been doing that.
3-1.
And I couldn't see in the first game, but in the second game, every time he's held that paddle up to his head.
Oh, that ball would have sailed long. Booth has to realize that those guys are hitting downwind.
Point, Kevin.
Some nice fight here coming from Dawson and Booth.
2-3-1.
2-3-1 here. Slows it back up.
Not sure why they're stepping back off the kitchen line. That's another example. I think if Dawson would have been all the way up the line, that would have been an easier attack shot for him. And a better angle to get the ball down at your opponent's feet.
It was just in. It was extremely close, but ruled in. Play continued and another point.
3-3-2.
So how about that? Dawson and Booth have clawed back. They trailed 0-3. It's now 3-3-2. Oh, nice put away.
Fleming gave a high forehand to Booth there. You know, one of the things that we talk about in teaching this game is I tell people, don't bring pace to your opponent's forehand unless you can get the ball down. In that time, Fleming brought pace to the Booth forehand and paid a steep price.
Yeah. Keeping him back. Still trying.
We have a mixed doubles, 3.5.
Get up there, that one hit off the body.
That's where Booth has to get to. That's the spot you need to be in pickleball to play winning pickleball. It took him 3 shots to get there, but once he got there, he was able to hit an attack shot. Booth's kind of struggling over to get his water. I think the heat's gotten to him, or he's dehydrated, or potentially cramping. But something's going on there, so we got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, no, he gave a little bit of a stretch as that timeout was called, and a little limp coming over. Certainly hope that he's okay and good, but it'll be interesting.
Our next match will be a mixed doubles.
We do have a timeout here. A minute allowed for the teams to
referee will be Sandy.
get their wits about them and rest up.
I'm being told from the truck that it potentially is a hamstring issue.
That's got to be tough, huh?
The truck is also saying that the forecast over the next couple hours here is 82 degrees with 10 to 12 mile-an-hour winds. Thanks, truck.
Oh, look at you, man. You know,
a few times.
I've been here for a long time, and I don't have the truck in my ear. You walk in here, and you're like plugged in. So he was actually saying I never cramp. So some cramps going on right now.
We kind of sense that, Dane, and that's the situation. Let's see if he can fight through this. A lot of pickleball players, when they start cramping, they drink, believe it or not, pickle juice. Pickle juice and mustard are 2 things that we do a lot when you feel that cramping. And in this elevation, when you get temperatures in the mid-80s, it can get you. These players have been playing out here since 7:30 this morning. And they've had, this is probably their 6th or 7th match of the day.
3-5-1 the score. It's interesting you mentioned pickle juice. That's actually
and Yoli Martinez, Jeff Olson.
What a treatment that is held here locally in Utah. BYU football. There was a story made about BYU football a couple years ago about how they use pickle juice to keep their players hydrated. And I'm not going to lie, maybe a few jokes poked at them for doing that, but it's worked well for them. So it was interesting that you mentioned that.
That ball's going to sail deep.
Impressive, I mean, in my mind, that Fleming was able to even get his paddle on that ball after hitting the net, but sent it long. Side out here, 5-3-1.
Terrific crowd surrounding John Gulo Court here at TOC, Dane, for this bronze medal match. Look at the hands of these athletes.
Oh,
yeah, he had
to pluck that one out. What a put away.
Fleming with a 2-hander with topspin down the middle. Great ball. Some mustard being put on the court for Booth if he chooses to go for it.
Is that a good treatment? I'd never heard of that one.
Yes, pickle juice and mustard are the 2 common things we see. I personally think pickle juice is more effective.
Okay.
And I know they have it here. Oh, terrific overhead.
Yeah. Coleman with a fantastic put-away shot you having to look at right there. As it's a side out. 3-5-1. Another timeout taken. Here with that cramping, we'll step aside here. Bronze medal match at the Senior Pro Tournament. And welcome back here, the bronze medal match. Now, Dave, something interesting. If I understand correctly, each match you get 2 timeouts. They've used them both.
You get 2 timeouts, and you do get 1 medical.
Okay.
That the referee or the medical staff has to approve.
Okay.
So cramping is not, in my understanding, is you don't get a medical just for cramping.
Okay. So maybe the last, well, for cramping reasons, the last timeout available.
3-5-1.
But you're at a point right now where you can see just trying to get something to get that worked out.
I think that was the main reason that the first game he was struggling.
Yeah. Now, how easy is it when you're in the middle of a match to get those cramps resolved? I mean, is something like pickle juice or mustard going to do the trick?
It can. It can.
We have
I have heard many stories from players that cramp severely. It usually happens at like our U.S. Open, which is in Naples, Florida, in April, where it's 95 and feels like 120.
Yeah.
Sometimes at nationals, our national tournament in Arizona, people cramp up, and I'm told that pickle juice or mustard can change your world very, very quickly. I mean, it can be in 3 to 4 minutes you are back feeling better. It's unbelievable. I don't know what there is in that chemically that does that, Dane, but
we have a mixed doubles match.
It makes a difference.
Interesting. 5-3-1.
Oh, Coleman was there. He was there.
This will be a gold medal
6
match
unanswered points for Dawson and Booth.
featuring Kelly Shore and Bob Tilley versus.
Very impressed with the footwork of all 4 of these players. These guys are in terrific shape. They move around the court extremely well. I mean, Coleman covered that lob like it was nothing, and it was an excellent, what I call an offensive lob.
There's another one. Boy, that one probably would have come down with the wind, right? Would have been in.
Randy has just a terrific overhead. I wouldn't be surprised if some tennis is in his background, because that is a beautiful overhead from a technical standpoint.
There's another novice question for you on that service. How a backhand serve, is that a common thing?
It's not common, but I would say that we probably have 7 pros that do it, between the regular side and the senior side.
Yeah.
So it's not real common.
7-3-2.
Oh, a short serve. Oh, great hands by Coleman. That's such a tough thing to react to, a net court like that.
Yeah.
Give Coleman a lot of credit for fighting that ball off and getting it back.
Literally saved his face. That one was coming right up for the noggin.
Self-defense.
3-7-1. And how about Coleman and Fleming finding themselves in a hole? They win the first game rather easily, and now they've been a little out of sorts here in game number 2.
Yes.
3-7-2.
Second service here from that side. Just
that ball came down.
Wow.
It might have hit both lines. You know, Dane, we talked about this before this match started, that we thought this was going to be a very, very competitive match.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be surprised at all if it went 3 games. And it's looking like we might be headed that way, baby.
4-7-2.
Well, and if you would have told me that when this was 3-0, I would have been like, I don't know, but
a missed return.
My lines are
that ball was wide. That ball was significantly wide. The wind moved that ball 3.5 feet in the air.
Nice response here from Coleman and Fleming. A couple of points. 5-7-2 here.
Yeoman.
Nice return that time from Booth for the side out.
Kristen Floyd and Eggerman.
That's why we got to be careful on those third shot drives. If you are going to drive the ball, we've got to get the ball low.
This is a medal round.
If it sits up like that, the ball is too easily attackable.
Third shot unable to be returned, so we move to the second serve.
Kevin really battling his body right now, and it gets into your head, Dane, and then you're questioning shots. You're questioning if your body is capable of hitting the shot and the movement associated with that shot. And let's see if he can battle through this.
You can see the mental battle that he's had.
That ball was a ball long. He's a very tough, gritty competitor. I expect him to battle through this, persevere, and try to capture this game 2 and force game 3. Dawson expecting a forehand down the middle, and Fleming successfully goes behind him.
That's 3 unanswered now for Fleming and Coleman. Make it 6-7-1 here in game 2. Fleming Coleman won the first game. They win this, they advance to the gold medal final later today.
Booth really hung that ball high and really gave Coleman a great opportunity to hit that ball on a descending track. Folks, in pickleball, we always want to make our opponents have to lift the ball. We want to be the team that hits the ball on the descending track. Always force your opponent to lift.
Great insight here from Dave the Badger Weinbach. I love that nickname, by the way, as that one sails long. And move to the second serve.
Yeah, we live in Madison, Wisconsin, the home of the Wisconsin Badgers.
I love that. Love that. Of course, for a year, your football coach, Gary Anderson from the state of Utah,
Yes.
now back coaching the Utes. They
Yes.
start up in a week here locally.
What a terrific coach he is.
And that one out of play.
Timeout.
The timeout. This is second and last timeout.
Booth looking at changing shirts, maybe putting on something a little bit cooler.
Yeah. 8-7-2 will step aside here and be back with the conclusion of Game 2 here in the men's senior bronze medal.
The AMP technology is the best core technology available.
I mean, I feel taller. I feel better looking.
I'm looking for a paddle that looks good, feels good, and sounds good.
I definitely think there is a larger sweet spot.
It's got a huge amount of control. The ball really stays on the paddle for a long time.
So much more forgiveness, which I like. It's a lot of power.
Felt good. It had a lot of power with a lot of control. Able to curl it as much as I need to. With the power, with the control, with the softness, it's going to take anybody's game to the next level.
15 seconds. Line judges.
And welcome back. If you're one like me, I had to ask the Badger here next to me about timeouts and reminded me, hey, 2 timeouts per game, not per match. So Dave using that, or Kevin using that second one, and as you had mentioned, Dave changed the shirt, and hopefully that's able to help him fight through the physical battle he's had here today.
Good deep serve. There's a situation where when you return a serve, you need to get all the way to the kitchen line. We saw him get up very slowly. He only got halfway to the kitchen line, which allowed his opponent to hit the ball down at his feet.
Yeah, you kind of get caught in
Next match
between,
will be a
right?
mixed doubles.
That one.
4.0.
Boy, linesman called it out.
I thought that ball was deep.
Sponsored by Raymond James.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Randy and Dave don't agree with that, but I think that ball was correctly called deep.
And Nick Hart.
I think that the wind carried that thing 3 feet further than what Randy and Dave expected that ball to
It was
be.
closer. Randy and Dave, I mean, you heard it. Yes, they thought
Yeah.
that ball was well placed, but the linesman right there, sitting right on the line, did call it out. And they asked for an appeal, and the referee saying, I can't do anything about that. So we move to the second serve here at 7-9-2. In game number 2.
They need to come back, Dane, and win game 2 if they're going to force game 3 here in this bronze medal match in Brigham City, Utah.
Well, that's one.
Terrific backhand there by Booth. You see how he got that ball down?
Yeah.
If he was not all the way up at the kitchen line, if he'd have been 3 or 4 feet back, it changes the whole angle of attack on that ball.
8-9-2 here.
You can tell that Randy and Dave are really trying to pick on Booth here. They sensed the situation early in this match that he was not playing well. They now know that he is cramping.
Yeah.
And it's a competition, and they're going to do what they can to give them the best chance to win. So I fully expect them to continue to try to wear him down and break him down.
Boy, what a nice run put on there, tying things up here 9-9-2. And the last timeout of this game for either side.
No more timeouts.
An important finish coming up here, obviously with a lot riding on it.
And they are out of timeouts.
Yeah.
9-9.
When you can see Kevin, I just feel bad for him. And even have, if this goes to a game 3, you mentioned his toughness and grittiness. I mean, he'll battle through it, but never fun to have to deal with that as a competitor.
You are the correct server.
9-9-2.
9-9-2.
Dawson with service.
Right out.
See where Booth was when he hit that shot?
Yeah.
Now, he didn't hit a very good third shot, so that's okay to stay back, because then the objective is to try to drop the fifth shot and then come to the kitchen line. Terrific drop by Randy there. Oh, he had the forehand on his paddle.
But he got it in on Fleming, and he sailed it long. So that'll move to the second serve here, 9-9-2.
Medical assistance to court number 7, please. Medical assistance to court 7.
9-9-2. What a game.
A game full of runs. That one hitting the net. We covered, and then Booth couldn't get it over.
Another mishit by Booth. That ball hit the edge of his paddle, and pickleball, when you do that, the ball is going to go nowhere. I don't care what paddle you use.
Match point, 10-9-2.
Our next match will be a
Oh, that ball was going long.
Yep.
Dawson could not resist the high forehand. Sometimes we get those high forehands, and even though the ball's going down, it's very difficult to resist that when you're salivating on a high forehand.
They do manage the side out, so even though they played that, it turned out okay for the time being.
Oh, wrong receiver, so that's a point.
Oh, wow. So explain that for us, Dave.
So the receiving team was not lined up correctly. The wrong receiver received. And Steve Hart correctly, our referee, as soon as they hit that ball, said, incorrect receiver, point. So that brings us to 10-10-1 here in Game 2 at the Tournament of Champions.
You know what that means? Free pickleball. We're going past 11 today. That one.
Oh, the
long.
wind didn't hit it. I thought the wind would hit that ball and knock it down, and it never hit it.
So here's a question on the second server thing. Is that incumbent on the serving team or on the receiving team to make sure they're lined up?
The
correctly?
receiving team. And you can ask the referee,
Okay.
am I the correct receiver? Oh, that ball's going to sail long. Randy, for a moment, forgot about the wind.
So now here's game point for Dawson and Booth. Can they force a game 3?
Nice drop, my Kev. Let's see if he gets in there.
Goes backhand to keep it going.
Good recovery by Dawson there. Went behind him. Great get. Real big point here, Dane.
Oh, man. So a side out. How about Coleman on that earlier in that sequence? The one hit the net and just died, and still able to get under it to keep the play going, and
He
you
has
battle.
a very, very quick first step, as does Fleming. Very impressed with their footwork and their athleticism.
10-11-1, and that will move to the second serve. A nice placed hit there by Booth. Now 10-11-2.
Let's remind our viewers that this is a senior pro. So senior means in pickleball that's 50 and
Players,
up.
just for your information, we do have
Hey, how about
pickle
that? A
juice
side
available
out.
over here at the
Fantastic
first
job by
stand.
Dawson and
So
Booth,
before
as
you
now
start
they'll
getting
get the
leg
service
cramps or
game
as you get
point, and
them,
they'll have 2 serves to do
know
it.
that we have pickle juice available for your convenience over at the
11-10-1.
first stand.
Game point here to force the third game here in this bronze medal match in the men's senior.
Boy, good use of speed that time by Fleming.
They're going to get another chance here to take this game. Right here, Dane. It's on Dawson's paddle right now.
11-10-2.
Good drop. Let's see if he gets in there. He's just physically not able to move the way his brain would like him to move right now, and he's struggling with that. He's questioning different shots. He's not being totally committed to each shot.
A nice job playing that back.
Great
Opportunity to
setup
attack.
there by Booth.
Yeah.
Second serve.
You know, everyone talks about the final kill shot, which was very nice, but to me, it's the setup shot is the most important shot.
10-11-2. Can they
We have
get
a
the
mixed
side out to
doubles,
win the
still
serve?
3.5
Back.
50-plus match on
There it
court
is.
number 3. Our
So
referee
service
Anthony
back to
Bob.
Booth and Dawson. Game point again.
Great backhand drive by Booth, getting the ball down, making the opponent lift, and then Steve got an easy high forehand for the kill shot. 11-10-1, game point.
Rosier, court 3.
Keeping
Referee's
Booth
foul.
back. Now he'll come up. Tried to lob it. Oh, fantastic
what a
job by
terrific backhand
Fleming.
overhead. Folks, Fleming made that look easy, but that's one of the most difficult shots we have in pickleball is a high backhand overhead falling away. That was very impressive.
11-10-2.
Oh, I think that ball would have sailed deep. Trying to break down Booth again.
We have a mixed doubles game.
Booth seeing a lot of action in this match.
4.5, age 8 to 49 on court number 12. Sponsored by Edward Jones. And our referee for the match will be Lynn.
That one hits the net.
Emily Rogers.
Still
and Tyler
going.
Wilkins.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. And there's game 2. And that forces game 3 here in the bronze medal match in the senior men's pro division at Tournament Champions in beautiful Brigham City, Utah, right at the base of the Wasatch Mountain. I tell you, Dane, it never gets old looking at that view for us Midwesterners.
Yeah, it is not something you see in old Madison, Wisconsin. There's a lot of great things about Madison, but you don't get that. How about Booth and Dawson? 12-10 in game 2. We're tied up 1 game apiece. Game 3 coming up next. Game 3 in the bronze medal match of the senior men's pro tournament here at the Tournament of Champions. Dane Stewart and Dave Weinbach. Dave, what a match, huh?
This is just fantastic play. And this is only the bronze, Dane. We still got the gold medal match that we're going to bring you live here in the senior pro division. So what's going to happen now is we're going to play 1 more game to 11. The players will switch sides at 6 points, so there's no advantage, disadvantage with the wind and the sun angles. We always will switch at 6 in this tie-breaking game.
Is that first team to 6, not 6 total?
First team to 6. So when one team gets 6, these players will switch sides. Because they've each played 1 game on each side. So now they're going to switch at 6. 1 more game to 11 to determine who wins this bronze medal match and advances to the gold medal match. And Booth not able to close to that kitchen line quick enough. I'd like to see him in there a little bit faster. And I think he's being hampered by his leg.
Oh,
I think that's a clean shot.
wow.
Referee Steve was watching that like a hawk, and Coleman did not touch the net. He did not touch the post, and the player can cross the net if they made contact with the ball on their own side of the net. If a player does not make contact with the ball and comes to the other side of the net, that is a violation.
It's not a move that I've seen very often, but it was an athletic move put on by Coleman to get the side out.
And he will do that on this side of the court, the right side of the court, which is his forehand, where he has more reach.
0-0-2.
And there's an unforced error by Coleman, so that'll be a side out with Dawson serving downwind, folks. He's serving downwind, and it is moving the ball from his left to right. Can't tell that on the video screen.
Following to report to our referee desk.
Terrific angle there. Dawson was leaning middle. Coleman sensed it and went behind him with a terrific angle winner.
Was there something that brought Dawson into the middle of the court?
Thank you.
I think he was anticipating the ball in the middle, and he's trying to help his partner, to be honest with you. I think he's trying to cover more ground to take some of the pressure off of Booth, who obviously is not 100%.
Right. First point of game 3 here, 1-0-2 for Booth and Dawson.
It's a tough place to play pickleball from, that middle of the court. A lot of people call it no man's land. I call it the transition zone. It's not an ideal place to play. So I'd like to see him close to that kitchen line a little quicker. Oh, great serve.
I was going to say, really deep on that service.
Now they're going to switch. Oh.
He was fine. I watched the speech the whole time.
Yeah, I thought he was fine, Dane.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was a great job of switching. You called it, Dave, because the moment that Dave gets on that other side, or excuse me, Randy got on that other side, needed that help as that return is long.
Folks, you always have to know what the wind is doing if you play outdoors in the wind like this. This ball is
We
like a
have a gold
wiffle
medal
ball
match
and has a
in
lot
our
of holes in it,
doubles
so it's
division,
extremely
2.5
sensitive
seconds,
to the wind conditions. I tell my partner before every couple of points, my partner today is Wes Gabelson, so I'm saying, Wes, we're downwind left to right. We're into the wind right to left. I wanted to know what it's doing all the time because it affects every shot you hit, including a dink.
Gold medal match on court number 14.
Move to the second service here, 3-1-2. Coleman.
Oh, what hands by Fleming. I tell you what, Booth hit 2 great driving shots that he got low. And Fleming fought both of them out.
You had another look at that, a fantastic job.
Dawson going to a new paddle. It's the same paddle, but just a new one. And the referee must approve that paddle. So they're trained to feel the face of the paddle, Dane. And if they feel too much gruffness or scratchy surface, they can rule that that paddle is not available for play. So that's why you see the referees before every match feel both sides of the paddles.
One, 3-2.
That was a good drop shot. Booth didn't come in. That's going to sail long.
And that didn't do any favors that time. Going back to the paddle, what would be the impetus for a player electing to go to a second paddle?
He might feel like there's a dead spot on that paddle. It might have a scratch on it. It might be coming loose at the edge, by the edge guard. There's a number of reasons that you see players switch paddles mid-match. And that's why we always carry 2 or 3 paddles in our bag.
Side out there, what impact would a scratch on a paddle have inside of the game? How significant can that be?
Any imperfection on a paddle, Dane, can affect the consistency of the outcome from that shot. So we players are very picky on making sure our paddles are in perfect condition.
Understandably so.
And that ball is going to sail long.
Yep.
Speaking of paddles, it's just absolutely wonderful to see the growth of this game, and we have so many great paddle manufacturers now. In the old days, we maybe had 2 or 3 companies that were in the pickleball manufacturing business of paddles and balls and equipment. And now, I couldn't even tell you how many there are, but it's got to be 25, Dane, different companies. And it's just so great because what it's doing is it's forcing this competition is forcing these companies to put a lot of money into R&D, research and development. And we're seeing tremendous technical growth of the materials that the paddles are made. We're seeing evolution of not only the paddles, but also the ball. I have said publicly, and I'll say it here, I think the evolution and the research and development and the growth of balls is going to even exceed what we see in paddles for the next 5 years. I think we're going to look back 5 years from now and say, we played pickleball with those balls and those paddles?
It's kind of like golf, right?
Yeah,
you go look at golf and the evolution of
Yes.
the golf ball, and you could see something very similar. What a great lob shot.
It's a very good analogy, and I think that with the money that companies are putting into the R&D, look at the defense!
Wow.
Oh, great point.
Man, so many opportunities to get the point, and give a lot of credit to Fleming and Coleman because they fought that off like champs for a long time, but eventually just too much. 4-3-2. 4-3-1. My apologies. 4-3-1. And once again, that number 3, Dave, has been a bit of a pill for Fleming and Coleman to get over.
Oh, he got it! He got it! Wow! What an effort by Booth. Oh, too bad. Terrific get by Kevin there.
Man, I can't believe he caught up to that.
Shows you the pure athleticism that these players have. We might be calling a senior match here.
They're more
these guys
athletic than I am.
These guys don't play like any seniors, Dane.
Right.
Come on!
Side out there. It will be Fleming to serve here. 3-4-1.
Just a reminder, folks, this is the bronze medal match. The winner will move on to the gold medal match to take on Kennedy and Burr, who have gone through this bracket unscathed today, and they are waiting in the wings.
You made the comment a while ago, this is just the bronze game, and it's been a fantastic one. Is a point awarded there, 4-4. Now the score, 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
We'll have that game coming up for you later today, live. Another one that...
So after this match, we will have the senior men's pro gold, and following that, we will have the men's pro gold.
Which I understand one of us is going to be playing in that match.
I think so. I think you're right about that. You have inside information, don't you, Dane?
It was the truck in my ear.
That match is going to feature Tyson McGuffin and Matt Goebel taking on the great Wes Gabrielson and myself, Dave the Badger Weinbach. We're going to that match is slated to start in that 6 to 6 o'clock to 6:30 time frame, local time.
It'll be a fantastic one. We are at 6-4-2. Our score, advantage of Coleman and Fleming. As Dave, you had pointed out before this third game began, switch sides. Quick break, and we'll get back to the action here.
Skill 4.5, 50 plus on court number 6,
You know,
which is sponsored by
it's interesting.
PickleBall
I don't have the
Central.
angle because I've got a little block to one of the corners, but now
Laura
that
Frank and
Booth
Chris
and Dawson
Carpenter
back on that north
versus
side of the court again, you see the
Susan
paddle
Moore
being held up to
and
the face
Ron
of Booth.
Hunt.
Dave, was that happening on the other end, or is that just something that we've seen on the north end?
No, what he's trying to do is keep the heat off his face.
Right.
When you cramp and when you get dehydrated, you want to keep your body as cool as possible.
Yeah.
So just the sun off his face makes him feel a little cooler, and I think that's a bright idea. He's doing anything he can, Dane,
Right.
to give himself a competitive advantage.
Now, at this point, it's just gritting through it, right?
Yeah,
Side out
a
there.
very attackable third shot there by Coleman, and high to Booth's backhand. And Booth has a terrific backhand. You know, people talk a lot about his forehand being a great weapon. He's got a terrific backhand. Just a great player overall.
Oh, boy. Left that one hanging. You knew it.
Yeah, he knew. You know, us players, we know as soon as we hit that ball, we can feel it, that it went too deep or too short.
Yeah. So we move to the second serve here, 4-6-2.
4-6-2.
We are in game 3 here in this bronze medal match.
Great.
Oh, he wanted to take that out of the air, and I thought he was going to, and it was just out of his reach, and he let that ball bounce. Folks, in pickleball, if you get lobbed, we always want to take the ball out of the air if we can get to it. Now, if someone hits you a great, what I call an offensive lob, and the ball does land in the back, 2 feet of the court, you or your partner need to run back there, and what I teach is you run back. Only one player runs back, the other stays at the kitchen line, and the player runs back and then drops the ball into the kitchen, so then he or she can move back up to the kitchen line and be in a position where you can play winning pickleball.
7-5-1.
Too many players, they let that ball bounce behind them, and then they re-lob it, or they drive it, and then they can't move forward back to the kitchen line.
7-5-2.
7-5-2 here in game 3 in this bronze medal match. The winner to move on to the gold medal match, which will start within 20 minutes, I think, of the ending of this match, and we'll move on to play Steve Kennedy and Scott Burr, who have gone unscathed here today at the Tournament of Champions in Brigham City, Utah.
An important side out there.
Oh, great drop. Let's see if he closes.
That one sent long. Nice point. So 6-7-1 here.
6-7-1.
What a great match. We've gotten to talk about a lot of different things in this game and different shots and little tidbits.
Yeah.
In this game, Dane, I hope you're learning a lot.
Learning a ton.
How fun is this?
This is great.
This is awesome.
You know, I tell people I'm doing pickleball, and they kind of give me a look. It's like, no, you got to watch it. It's a fantastic game.
So fun. You think it's fun commentating it? Wait till you start playing.
Oh, man.
It is unbelievably addicting, an incredible source of exercise and cardiovascular.
I'm not going to lie. I would
workout.
love to. But, man, I think I would be made quick work of.
You would get it quickly, but I'm going to warn you, it's very addicting. Most people within 10 minutes of trying this game are addicted for life.
Well, and the great thing about it is it's one of those sports that you can play, right? You don't have to worry about, you think of football, basketball, soccer, some of those more commons, and the body wears down, and this is one that you can play well into your 50s, 60s.
It's one of the real beauties of the game is that anybody can play. I have played pickleball with 4-year-olds. I have played pickleball with 104-year-olds. It's such an easy game to get started. All you need is a paddle and a ball and some players. There are new courts going up all over the country every single week. I am hearing about new dedicated pickleball court complexes, including one I just heard about yesterday in Highland, Utah.
Okay.
A beautiful 24-court facility. I saw the rendering of it. It is going to be spectacular.
Wow. No, I know it's been a game that's been growing. I was talking with a coworker not too long ago, and there was a bunch of softball fields in the Salt Lake Valley, and they came in one day and said, we're losing our softball fields. They're putting in pickleball. It's like, fantastic. Great. Let's grow this game, and it's fantastic to see. I know a lot of local gyms are putting in pickleball lines. And,
yes.
I mean, it is certainly
and we're seeing schools, middle schools, high schools,
yeah.
have pickleball as part of their curriculum now. We talk a lot about this game being the fastest growing sport in America. It's also the fastest growing sport in the world by far.
Well, one of the great things about it, from my understanding again, and I don't have the same exposure as you do, Dave, but for those who are tennis players, pickleball's a great way to learn tennis. You learn some of the fundamentals, and then you can advance those into tennis for those that want to pursue that angle.
The transition we're seeing are tennis players, where tennis is kind of hard on the body and there's a lot more movement. We're seeing them transition to pickleball. And there's no reason you can't play both.
Right.
I play both.
Yeah.
I've played tennis my whole life. I've played competitive table tennis my whole life. There's no reason that you can't continue to play tennis and play pickleball.
Fantastic job there by Coleman, able to play that ball deep and get the side out here. It'll be 7-8-1.
What a highly competitive Game 3. We'd expect nothing less, would we?
No. And you know the great thing is the fight that we've seen from both squads. They both face deficits, and they've both come back multiple times throughout this match. Has been phenomenal as we move to the second serve here.
Pickleball Tournament of Champions. Take a quick run up the canyon to see what these beautiful mountains have to offer, along with gourmet burgers and sandwiches.
That'll be the side out.
Tell
Tell you what, I mean, we've talked about Booth and how he's been having to grit through some things. Fleming and Coleman, they've had their moments where they've struggled as well today, Dave, to take advantage of opportunities.
Absolutely. There's been very attackable balls that they have not been able to take advantage of.
Great place to get a bite.
Oh,
There's one.
Great move by Fleming. Out of Frisco, Texas, he tells me. Little Frisco special right there. I'm very impressed with his hands and his footwork.
Oh boy.
He's kind of a newer player on our pro scene. Fleming is. I don't think I saw him at the U.S. Open this year or Nationals last year. So it's just wonderful to see all the new great talent we have in all the different brackets here at the Tournament of Champions.
That one played into the net, and we'll move to the second serve here.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to John Gulo, because if it wasn't for this man who has basically created the opportunity for people to play pickleball here in northern Utah, he created this tournament. This was his vision.
Yeah.
And he has donated an incredible amount of resources, time, money, to grow pickleball in the great state of Utah. Not only northern Utah, but he also spends a lot of time in St. George.
Right.
And we'll have John on later as a special guest, and I just wanted to give him a shout out, because this tournament, we wouldn't even be here, Dane, if it wasn't for John Gulo.
No, you're right. This is, to your point, Dave, very well stated. This has been his vision. He's done this for years in the state of Utah, really trying to help grow this game, doing everything he can to make pickleball a more common game in the state of Utah. And you see its growth, and it's very easy to attribute that to some of the work that, and really resource that he's put into doing that.
Great lob
shot, wow.
Try to drop it back in there. Let's see if they can get back to the kitchen line. Oh, they never had a good enough drop that they could close back to the kitchen line. The wind just carried those balls 2 feet further than what they expected. Let's get an updated score. 9-7-2.
Important point here. Another lob. That one was sent long. So the side out goes back now to Fleming and Coleman. Now they've got to put together a bit of a run here, right? I mean, you can't give the service back trailing by 2 this late in game 3.
I think that they have to get a point on this service, Dane.
Trying to be aggressive. There
they just did.
Recognizing that, a fantastic job by Coleman. Really picking it up and earning the point. 8-9-1.
8-9-1.
What a barn burner. And this is only the bronze.
I know.
We got the gold coming up next.
I'm so excited. Oh, man. Able to fight that one off. And now we're knotted up. Back-to-back. Fantastic plays by Coleman.
Not only a thank you to John Gulo, but also his American Dream Foundation, which has donated an immense amount of resources to not only set up this beautiful center court here in Brigham City at Pioneer Park, but also to grow pickleball. Oh, Dawson did not see that ball coming. Looks like he was just lost track of the ball. Didn't even make an effort for it.
3 straight points put on by Fleming and Coleman. Now we got match point, 10-9-1.
And they're on the first server.
Yeah.
That was a huge shot by Coleman there.
We need the following individuals, if you would please report to our referee desk. Sil Lyra, Steve Smith, and Carol Ann Smith.
The lob. And that one sent long. So we look at the second serve. Nice thing there is have a little bit of room to play with, right? Not too bad to take advantage, try to take an opportunity, but now you got to be a little careful.
He just misjudged the wind on that.
Okay. 10-9-2, so still match point here.
Nice drop, and then Randy gets in there. And here we go with our dinking game. Oh, what a terrific backhand. You know, we've talked about the Booth backhand this whole match, and there's another terrific example of what a weapon that is for Kevin Booth out of Southern California.
Fantastic job right there. So 9-10-1. We talked about the need for Fleming and Coleman to get a point. Now Dawson and Booth in dire need of one. Is that one? There it is.
The net court. I think that ball was coming in until it hit the net.
Yep. I think it would have. The net sent it wide. So now 10-10-1. So the second game in this match will play beyond 11.
Oh, no. Not the right decision.
Our next match will be a mixed doubles, skill 4.0.
So we move to the second serve here, 10-10-2.
Court number 8 is sponsored by Raymond James, and our referee for the match will be
What a battle, 10-10-2. That's going to be short.
And Arnie Lee versus Lila Rawlings and Nick Hart.
So the service now goes back to Fleming and Coleman. Can they put together 2 points and get the match win?
George. That is a medal round.
10-10-1.
Opportunity.
Oh, he got it. Dawson trying to keep him back. Oh, terrific drop by Fleming. And now they get to the kitchen line.
Nice.
Oh, he tried to do another Frisco special move. Oh, he got the high forehand that he wanted and missed it. Oh, great point.
So much great work done there by Fleming and Coleman. Get back to that kitchen line. I mean, they were playing off for a while. They get back and then into the net.
Coleman humorously says, "Can we redo that?" Gotta love the sense of humor at this key point in this bronze medal match.
10-10-2.
Booth hung that ball up high to the Coleman forehand and allowed Randy to get the ball down on a descending track and get it to Dawson's feet.
Another match point. 11-10-2. Fleming, Coleman trying to advance to the gold medal match. They do.
Oh, Booth pulled the trigger too quickly and did not respect the net enough. What a terrific bronze medal match, Dane.
No kidding. I mean, Booth and Dawson, you could tell the struggles of Booth physically today, having to endure those cramps, a lot going on. And fell in the first match 11-5, clawed back 12-10, and then really gave it their all in match number 3, but it goes away with Fleming and Coleman. Dave, your final thoughts of our bronze medal match?
Well, just a shout out to Kevin Booth. What a competitor to grind through that and grit out that match as well as he did. What a very impressive effort. But Fleming and Coleman at the end of the day were just too tough, and they've had an unbelievable day. I think they've beat 4 of the top 5 teams in this bracket.
Wow.
And now they're going to get an opportunity to take on the number 1 team that has come through unscathed, and that is Steve Kennedy out of Florida and Scott Burr out of the Palm Desert, California area. I expect this to be a terrific match. Burr and Kennedy have been sitting a long time. I saw them warming up on the far court about a half hour ago, and they're walking out of this court now. I think this is going to be a terrific gold medal match. Unfortunately, I'm not going to join you in calling it because I got to go get ready and warm up for my gold medal match. But this has been a real pleasure.
Dave, best of luck in your match coming up later. We'll have the senior championship. We'll have the men's pro championship. Both of those coming up live right here. But it's Coleman and Fleming advance to the senior gold medal match coming up here soon. Dave, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Dan. It was really enjoyed it, and enjoy the next couple of matches here, buddy.
Will do. Thanks.
Court number 12.